The jobs report just came out last week, and it shows we added over 200,000 jobs last month, which seems pretty good, but it's still weak. When you look at last year, month over month, we were adding something like 400,000, 500,000. Another good part of this job report is unemployment is still at a historic low, 3.5%. A lot of experts are thinking that this year in 2023, it is going to have to increase to 5% or 6%. 3.5% is just not sustainable. Another thing, the largest industry that grew was leisure and hospitality. This grew by something like 65,000 jobs last month. So that's good news, right? It is until you realize that most people in this industry, they only make minimum wage or even less than minimum wage. Look at your servers, your waiters, right? These type of individuals, sometimes they don't even make minimum wage. A lot of times these people make $2, $3 an hour and they're relying on tips. You're also looking at casinos, cruise ships, and hotels. The healthcare industry is the second industry we saw a lot of job growth. And this is mainly with the doctors and the nurses. If you know anything about healthcare professionals, they have to be at work. So they have to be in the hospital. A lot of times when they're off, they're on call. Now, when I was a kid, my mother was a nurse. She worked at a hospital a few miles away from home. And oftentimes she had to leave, right? Either on the weekend, maybe it was a holiday. The hospital would call her back, say, hey, we need you. We're short nurses, we need you to come in. So this is not the type of job you're going to be able to do remotely. Most of the time, the majority of the jobs in the healthcare industry, these are jobs you have to be present. So if something like remote work, telework, if that interests you, then this might not be the industry for you. Now, sure, there's exceptions, but that is the general rule. What has not been doing well is the business, finance, and tech industry. And we've all seen the headlines with the IT company talking about Meta, right? Talking about Twitter, talking about Google. They're laying off employees, and they're laying off large amounts of employees. This industry, it's not doing good, and it's a shame because that is where your high salary jobs are. The salaries that are $80,000, $90,000, $100,000 a year, six-figure salaries, they're largely in the business, finance, and IT industry. And then looking at government jobs, we saw only 3,000 jobs added. It was one of the lowest categories for new job creation. Now, the way they come up with this figure is they take all categories of government jobs. So they will take federal, state, local, county, city, all of that, and they'll lump it in. And the number 3,000, that is incredibly low. So I have found out recently that less people are applying for government jobs in November and December, probably because of the holidays. They should keep applying because the government is still hiring. I'm on usajobs.gov almost every couple of days, or even every day in some cases. And the jobs are still there. Thousands of jobs are still there, waiting for individuals to apply and to compete for them. So I believe in January, February, March, we're going to see an increase in government jobs. One of the most appealing parts of working a government job is a lot of them, especially if they're administrative in nature, a lot of them can be done remotely. Now, this is an interesting story. In DC, I'm in the DC area. In DC, the mayor actually wants the federal government employees back in the offices in DC. And the reason for this is because the businesses, the restaurants, all the service industry in DC, those businesses are suffering because federal employees are not actively in their office. So when a government employee is at their office, they're more likely to go to the restaurant. They're more likely to go across the street and buy something at a store. So there's been economic downward pressure in the DC area because only 20-30% of the employees are actually in the office every day. So really the last factor left, the last thing that's holding us back from a full-blown recession is the unemployment rate. And I believe that a lot of people that are in their jobs now, they don't want to jump to another job. They don't want to take that chance. So they're just staying in their current position. And that's one of the reasons why we're not seeing an increase in hiring activity. So my question to you is, what matters most? The fact that we can add 2, 3, 400,000 jobs a month, but they're low paying, their minimum wage are lower. Or would it be better to see 100, 150,000 jobs created that are high paying? Or does it even matter? You let me know down below. The Federal Reserve has committed itself to do whatever it needs to do, whatever possible, to get the rate of inflation down to that 2% a year level. And because of that, I was kind of shocked to see a lot of states are offering their own stimulus plan. So they're sending their residents a check every month in a lot of cases. This is state by state, but I think it's something like 30 or even over 30 states have their own economic stimulus plan. So whatever state you live in, I would recommend doing a Google search and seeing if perhaps you might qualify for one of these programs. Now, I was a little worried at first, but the thing about state stimulus programs, the states are not allowed to print money. So this is money that's already in the economy. This is not new money. Like when the federal government sends out their stimulus checks, they're essentially printing money. So the states don't have that ability, so it shouldn't result in increased inflation. And if you're watching this and you're still looking for a job, perhaps you're considering a government job. I want to share with you some of the job series that you could be qualified for, and you can learn about them if you watch this video next. If you would like to see more videos like this, please click like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.